Everyone, welcome back to It's Messy, but It's So Good, and welcome if this is your first time listening in. This podcast is all about stories of growth, courage, purpose, and transformation. And today I'd like you to meet my guest, Janet Howard-Fatta. Janet's a fine artist, and she does something very unique. It's a live event painting. She actually creates a work of art within the scene of, most of the time, weddings, and she is so talented. In this episode, we talked a lot about how she really found her creative voice in her work, in her painting, and also how she just allowed this to develop even though there was some uncertainty or, maybe a lack of trust, but she followed her nudges and she turned out to create an extraordinary career while really fulfilling her soul's work. So tune in. I think you're going to love this conversation. If you're a person who's looking for a season of change, or maybe questioning their direction, or just wondering if it's okay to let things unfold a little messier than planned. Enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to It's Messy, but It's So Good. And today I want to welcome my guest, Janet Howard-Fatta. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Janet and I met. We were trying to figure that out exactly, but I think it's in 24 at a beautiful retreat in the Azores. And we were just talking about how cohesive and yummy that was as an experience. And I really wanted to have Janet on because I find that another wonderful, amazing person from the Hudson Valley, Orange County community. And she has a very unique job, which is, or I would say more than a job, it's a vocation, it's a creative endeavor. She's a fine artist and she specializes in events, live events. So Janet, welcome.
Thank you.
And I would love to know, how you got started and ended up, because I know obviously you've been an artist for many years. We would love to hear, your passion journey in art.
Okay. Where do I start? I mean, so I want to say, so it's a live event painting that I'm doing now. And I mostly paint weddings. And starting out, I mean, I have been an artist my whole life. I mean, I still have my sketchbooks from when I was like 7 years old that I started drawing everybody in the neighborhood and drawing my family. And my dad, he did a little bit of painting with my grandmother as his kid. So I remember I still have the drawing that he's like, okay, I'm going to draw you, and now you draw me. And I still have those 2 sketches in my sketchbook, and that really set me on oh my gosh, I could draw somebody. And I always think about nature versus nurture. I was definitely praised for my drawings, So my parents gave me oil painting lessons by the time I was 12. A local artist, and she was trained in Europe someplace. She was a really good oil painter, and she was really strict with me, work dark to light, and I just and I once a week I painted with her, and that was great, and that got me into High School of Art and Design. I grew up in Staten Island, so I commuted back and forth to High School of Art and Design on 57th Street. That was huge because there was a drawing group there. There was a couple of artists there who were they were masters. I mean, they really taught me how to draw. I credit them. So I credit Lee, who taught me oil painting, and then Doc and Greenberg at Morning Group at High School of Art and Design, and then I went to Pratt.
Oh, you did?
Yep. So
In
I
Brooklyn.
did, yep, in Brooklyn. So I lived there. Yep, was RARD in college anyway. But like I feel like I learned color there. Um,
Mm.
color theory there, and as well as, meeting a community of artists. So that was a great start. And then then when I graduated, it's like, get a job. How are you going to make money? So I was a gallery girl. I was a graphic design, but I always kept painting. I mean, I could always consider myself a figurative artist. So I was always doing life drawing. I was going out to Stony Brook. I was living in Brooklyn. Then I moved to Long Island, design work. Had worked for a worked for two different manufacturers in their art department. And that's really was really great because you learn a whole aspect of a business.
Right.
So, I mean, you work alongside with the president of the company where you're, talking about packaging and advertising and budgeting. And so that was a huge lesson for me. Like I learned a lot because I really didn't study that at all at Pratt. But being an artist, they just like threw me. I kind of threw myself in the art department, and I always say like do something before you're ready to do it because I wasn't ready to do graphic design, and I did it. And then when it came to live event painting, I wasn't ready to do that when I did it either. Um, so then when I had kids, I decided to stop working full time
Hmm.
and, explore the idea of being a fine artist again. I mean, like I said, I was always painting in my free time, weekends and evenings, mornings. I would wake up in the morning. Um, so and during that interim, I feel like between live event painting and like my kids being little, I did so many things. Like I had a silk screening business. I I sold, I sold things like, I draw on rocks and I would sell them and made bookmarks. I was doing pancake portraits. The silk screening was a big business, and I was doing portraits, I was doing landscapes. But so it was always like finding my own voice, like, like what is really, you know, because I'm always interested in the intersection of art and business, like how you connect with people. I mean,
Mm.
so through all of that, I always kept thinking, like, how do I serve people? I mean, I feel like that was the question that I started really asking myself is how do I serve people with
Mm.
art? And yeah, so yeah, portraits, I mean, my bookmarks, the silk screening, everything just kind of like fed. But then, okay, so I always was doing figure drawing. When I moved to Warwick, I joined a figure drawing group. I ended up kind of taking that over. So that's been a constant with me, a weekly figure drawing. So maybe the last 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Frederick Frank, I mean, Possum and Terrace from Warwick. I mean, he
Mhm.
started at the community center. And I've been at various locations doing that. And it's like, hiring a model, connecting with other artists. And it's I don't teach it, I facilitate it.
Oh.
So I just provide the space for other artists to come and we draw and we look at each other's work, we share ideas, we talk about shows. Like it's a great place to it's like some people come who are coming back to art come there and some people just come into practice or feel like they need to explore a different medium, and that's how I've always used it is exploring different mediums. I've also did several bodies of work there or the pastel series or music street series, try to work in series. um so anyway, I decided that I was going to start putting figures in my landscapes,
Mm.
and because I mean, at this time it was like 2015. I was like, oh, how am I going to put my kids through college? I was really like trying to figure out because I was always struggling. through all of these things, I was always kind of struggling as an artist monetarily.
Yeah.
Um, and also feeling like what is really my voice. I mean, I've like spent so much time, yeah, studying art, the history of art, the practice of art. And so I mean, that's always the big question. Is like, what do I want to say? And how do I connect with people? Anyway, well, when I have done Julia Cameron's The Artist
The
Way.
artist way.
I did that probably in 1990 something once, and then I had started doing it again. Um, and when I painted, so I painted this one scene outside my friend's house. It was like people outside, and when I used my iPhone to like put certain people in locations, so it was like a landscape and a party that I'm painting. And I'm like, then I was like, I could just use my iPhone and I'll make this look like Dave and I'll make that look like Dory. And and then I was like, then there was like a crowd of people around me saying, "Oh my God, like that's amazing." Anyway, that was my moment that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna paint dinner parties." Like that's really what, because I always think of like food, love, people, because like that's kind of like, like in my family, it's like food is love, and like and I
Mhm.
had done, so when I did my morning pages with Julia Cameron, the first in 1990s, I'd started doing dinner party weddings, like dinner parties paintings, just like I painted the Christmas scene, I painted Thanksgiving scene, my own family stuff, and but I had stopped. Like, I don't know, then like birth of my kids. And so like
Mhm.
when I did this painting, I was like, I'm gonna paint parties, I'm gonna paint family gatherings. But it wasn't until I realized that people invest in weddings that was really how I could.
That's true. Yeah.
Um, and so that was in 2015 that I 2015, I painted my first wedding. I painted my neighbor's wedding. And so then when I Googled it, I saw that other people were doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I could do this. And I feel like and when I first started, it was trying to figure out what my voice is, like what I want to say in the painting, how I paint it. And I feel like, during this time, I feel like it's developed. I feel like, oh yeah, like that's my voice in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think that doing the artist's way just kind of gave yourself permission to open up so many different ideas? Because I actually took that course myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not with Julia, but
No.
I took it with Margie Durasso
Uh-huh.
and several years ago. And that's what I remember just feeling like, oh, everything is creative around me. And I never saw that
Oh
before.
yeah. No,
You
I
know?
feel like you dig deeper into
Mhm.
I think like through writing, through morning pages, you
Yeah.
explore different ideas through the artist date. I love the artist
Mhm.
date. I like the idea of filling the inkwell. And like, so I feel like those are like, it's kind of like a practice that's kind of in my life,
Right.
um, still. And I feel like there's a lot of inspiration, that, yeah, I guess permission is a good word. It's like you explore, you give yourself permission to look at things differently.
Mhm. Exactly. And it feels safe for some reason. Safer
I
than
always just use the
if you do
book.
it without, on your own, without that reference or
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
perception,
Yeah.
which is true about everything in life, for pretty much. But so as far as the event, you do primarily weddings at this
Yeah.
point.
Because people book weddings so far out in advance. I mean, if I'm like sometimes, I've painted some other corporate events and
Mhm.
bar mitzvah, baptism. I mean, I'd like to do more of those, but like, I mean, I was overbooked. Now I'm like, it's a lot slower for me right now, but
Yeah,
still
I would
like, I mean, I've
imagine.
got probably 8 weddings booked in 2027, but
Yeah.
I have, a bunch this year, but I need to fill in some dates right now still. But I
Okay.
mean,
Hear that,
because
people?
yeah, but like I'm always interested in other things. Like I'm funny because I'm like, oh, I want to paint a dog's birthday party or like, you know. come to a funeral. I don't know. It's like I feel like just like all of life, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're actually at the wedding and there's a lot going on, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of movement,
Mhm.
there's how do you feel in the midst of all that? And it sounds like, what you shared, that's like your voice. Like you like to be around a lot of people, you like to be around nature, you like to be around happiness, like all
Mhm.
those emotions,
Mhm.
opposed to maybe like being in a studio by yourself and
Mhm.
painting. Like, is
Yeah,
that what that's your jam, right?
it's true. I mean, first of all, like it would be like all artists should have a crowd of people behind them saying, "You're doing an amazing job. That's beautiful." Like everybody, I wish that for everybody. Because that's kind of what happens. I mean, it's true. Like sometimes when I'm there, I get so like I mean, like I still cry at the ceremonies. Like, like
Mhm.
sometimes they are so touching and so beautiful. It's just like, oh my gosh, like, and I'm like so honored to be there, like on their special day. I mean, that they chose me to come there and create this for them. I mean, I give the my clients a questionnaire in advance of,
Mhm.
because it would be overwhelming if I went there and showed up and didn't have a plan. So, I asked them for an emotion about the painting because I feel like that's the content of paintings is like how does it feel? I mean, like if they're more celebratory or more romantic. Um,
Mhm.
and I mean, sometimes they say elegant, rustic, or I mean, it's like that's a really good guide for me.
Yeah.
And that helps me like I'll take a video of them or I'll take like let's say if I'm painting a first dance, I'll take a video and I look for that and I look for that like connection between them. I try to paint that.
Because I
So
was wondering, like, the process of how
yeah.
you decide what you're going to paint,
Yeah, I
which
mean
is
I
a
have this
combination.
elaborate it's an elaborate questionnaire kind of like what time of day is it? Like what do you love about your venue? Why did you choose that venue? And who like I say who is in the painting? Who is important to you? And like sometimes like we do one of these meetings, we do a Zoom meeting and talk about yeah, what's important to them.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
do they want to what are you capturing that they want to capture
right.
so
Yeah.
that in
Sometimes it's
10
like I
years.
love the elegance or I love flowers. Um
Mm,
like
yeah,
I love my, the train of my gown, or I love the sleeves of my sometimes, just like little things like that, that I try to, just make sure I give a nod to in the painting.
mhm.
Um Yeah, but some people are like love and happiness. And then I know that like I want to paint them smiling, looking at each other. I mean, like it's like so funny because I don't think I ever painted a smile before until I started live event painting. I was always like
Oh,
serious, like a serious artist.
yeah.
And now it's like I paint people smiling all the time. And I feel like, like that's a good memory, for like in a relationship to remember that you're smiling at each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. Out of all the, events and weddings that you've been to, was there any, like, particular one that stands out that something really surprised you or, something different or
When I think back to like so many weddings that like I love.
Mm,
Um, I mean, most people are on their really good behaviors. It's like there's been some, I always try to like think of the good stuff. Surprise. Ah.
maybe not, maybe not, I was just like, if anything
Mhm.
just stood out, like, that maybe unusual happened or
Well, it's sad when, like something happens to the couple, like if the bride gets sick, or too drunk. Like
Oh,
those
yeah.
things are really not good.
Yeah.
Um, But I mean, like, I've just seen some, I always try to stick with the good things, just the dancing, like
Yeah.
sometimes the couples do like these the first dances that they're like choreographed and like, and she's a dancer and they're just like
Yeah, I love
just
to watch those videos.
dropping beautiful. I mean, I will say also that some of the planners who create these elaborate scenes, elaborate events, I never knew that that was possible. What they do with, you know, flowers and design and create experiences for people. I mean, some of the planners just it's amazing. Amazing. And like it's so it's such an experience that, just one painting is hard to, like I feel like a painting is just it's like one small thing of like a whole experience that they create for people to be in. I
Yeah.
don't even know if I'm even saying that right because just like whether like flowers just hanging from the ceilings and just completely transforming spaces like and it's just amazing. So
Yeah,
that's always surprising to me. I mean Norma Cohen, I get to work with her. It's an honor to work with her. She's a planner in New York City and
oh, okay.
I love what she creates. Yeah.
How many places do you go? Like, do you go throughout the country or do you stay mainly on the East Coast or
Yeah. I try to stay as local as possible.
right?
Just because it's traveling is an issue. I mean, I've been to Aruba in Florida, like that's
Mm.
great. But most of the time, tri-state area, New Jersey, Long Island, New York City,
Yeah,
Connecticut, Pennsylvania.
yeah.
And like, yeah, there's so many great venues, Pennsylvania and here in the area too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, wineries have become very popular over the past couple of years and, you know, many different types of weddings. Well, we just had a wedding in our family. So
It's so
yeah,
much fun,
yeah,
right?
it was awesome out in Colorado. Yeah, it
Ah,
was beautiful.
Colorado's so beautiful.
Yeah. So do you ever paint after the fact, not live, but maybe take a photograph
I
that
just did
someone
one
has
last,
provided for you?
yeah, I just did one yesterday. Um, Yeah, I mean, I normally do them couple only and a little smaller. Um, because like because I feel like it takes me a lot longer. Let's say you give me a series of photos to create something like that I do in a live event painting. Like you have to give me a series of photos, a video, and it takes me longer than it does when I do it live. Because when I'm working live, I'm doing the background from observation. Like I'm
Mhm.
just looking at it, drawing it, it just comes together. Whereas when I'm dealing with a photograph, I have to like deal with perspective and it's I find it more difficult.
Yeah, I could see that. Just having it right in front of you, your perspective is so much more
Yeah, it's
obvious.
just real. It feels real. Like
Yeah.
a photo changes. I mean, maybe I'm dealing with an iPhone camera. You know, yeah, this is me like drawing it out. Like I always do a sketch first, and that helps me map out the space of how I'm going to include the figures within there. That
Mm,
helps me. But I mean, I've particularly this time of year. So there's less weddings in the winter. So I'm doing these commissions, like kind of couples, just couple 16 by 20 commissions in the wintertime.
mm.
They're fun. I mean, those are not like those are like I feel like I can do them and I love them. But what doing something like a live event painting in his studio takes me so much longer. I like I feel like it's part of the whole energy thing, like the energy from the wedding, like being there with the
Right.
people and the
Exactly.
music, it feeds the painting. Like I'm convinced of that that energy brings it.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that for
Mm.
sure. So, I just wanted to ask you I always ask my guests this question. What do you think the biggest gift that you have received from, we don't have to just say from the live event painting, but from your whole journey as an artist? from where you started to where you are now, what do you think the biggest personal gift has been for you?
Mm. And my personal gift. I mean, I am so grateful for so much. I feel like maybe it's been I do love the journey.
Mhm.
I feel like that struggle before of like finding my voice is it it makes now even greater, like I am so grateful to have found this, and it gives me more optimism about the future. Right now I feel like, well, you know like, where would this go? Like, I feel, that the possibility of transformation is a gift, like that. I feel like, what is next? Like, like I do plan, like, 56, probably going to keep painting another, hopefully another, I don't know, however many years that I am.
Right.
Uh, like, I always feel like I'll always be an artist. And like, never thought I would be here. So, like, I think about what is next, so that is, yeah, the idea of possibility, because like I get like excited about that now. Like I feel like I transformed in terms of my own optimism, my own belief in myself.
Right.
That's a gift. um
Yes. It's
yeah,
like the trusting that
yeah,
it's
that
like
trust in myself.
listening to your story, I can see how, and this is true for everyone's story, is
Mhm.
every step of the way added to who you are now. And yes, there might have been struggles, but there were also gifts, and for you to be able to have not only finding your voice right now, but being open to the possibilities of what's to come, and then have um, the financial security, which is important in life as well. But having all those things as an artist is, I mean, that's amazing, to have that.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
know, like, when I graduated Pratt, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, what am I gonna do?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because my son went to the sister school, Munson Williams Proctor.
Oh,
Do you know that school in
no.
Utica, New York? It's the 2-year program for Pratt, and
Uh-huh.
then when you graduate from there, you automatically get enrolled into Pratt. So either you weren't able to afford Pratt, get a
Uh-huh.
scholarship, or you just didn't get into Pratt, but they saw that you had promise and they wanted
Mhm.
you to have more training.
Mhm.
And the amazing thing, just as an option for people, I mean, it is quite expensive, but there were 12 people in my son's studio class,
Uh,
and he learned every type of media. I mean,
uh-huh.
and he ended up picking photography,
Oh, wow.
and then finished his education. He didn't go to Pratt after that. He went to Purchase. But now he doesn't do that at all.
No?
But that was, that added also to his,
Right.
everything adds in, everything that we
Right.
go through, right? Emotionally, physically,
Yeah. Mhm.
spiritually, it all kind of has a thread. And that's when we can like kind of have that inner smile and say,
Mhm.
okay, I get it. So it's knowing you and some other artists in Warwick, I just and in the area, it's just so nice to see people, and part of the reason why I do this podcast is because when people have passions and they can become successful in them and find their voice even through the messiness,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
then keep going because you have this commitment. Like it's not something that you have to work so hard at. Sometimes it feels that way, but because you just have this passion
Mhm.
to keep going, and it's calling you.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
the dedication itself is a gift. I mean, I do
yes.
feel like that. Like, I mean, I used to carry a little rock that said resolve and persevere. It was like a little Thomas Jefferson quote, but I feel like that, the commitment, the dedication of like, you know,
Yeah.
push myself,
And
definitely
then
push myself through the
yeah,
years.
and but each time you take a step, it it,
Mhm.
it kind of catapults you to the next,
This
um,
is true.
the next. So
Yeah, I was thinking about that, like that whole thing of like you have to become it. Like if you want something to be something, if you want to be different, you have to be different. Or if you want something different, you have to be different. So I do believe in habits. Like what are the habits that you do that
yeah,
your actions that you take to, yeah.
yeah, some structure is a good thing.
Which is why the figure drawing thing has always been like it still is, it's still like a good structure for me.
Yeah. So as far as now, you're more or less doing some commission work until you go back into more weddings.
Mhm.
But what else are you doing in case anyone is in the community or the area? Um, you're also teaching, right? You're,
Well, yeah, I'm just starting again teaching. I used to teach
Mhm.
a long time ago. I used to taught in my studio, which I will be putting out a workshop this spring, and I'm kind of working on what that looks like right now. But
Mhm.
it's probably going to be oil painting, an oil
Mhm.
painting, kind of maybe like a color, kind of, a little bit of color theory, and yeah, I'm probably going to do
But-
that here at Goshen Green Farm.
Oh,
And or maybe at Forge 28, but I'm putting that together right now because I
okay.
like teaching is so good because you voice what you do, you know.
Yes, and you
Mm.
also could see how excited people are when they're creating, you know?
It's true. But
Which
yeah, I mean, also still have my weekly figure drawing group, like that's, and we do
yeah,
once a month. We do a long pose. We do it out in Otisville at the sanctuary.
uh-huh,
So
cool.
yeah, that's really is that what I'm working on? Yeah, I'd say let's yeah.
And
Mhm.
is the oil class, is it for people who have experience in painting, or can it also be for beginners, or you're not sure yet,
It could
maybe?
be no, it could be for a beginner. Um, it could be for I mean, I always say like that's what's great about a class too, because people learn from each other. So if somebody's more advanced, I mean, everybody will like learn from each other.
Yes, that's true.
That's
It's
great about taking a class.
inspiring. Yeah.
Yes, it's inspiring.
So I know that you're on Instagram and Facebook and you have a
Mhm.
website, and we're going to have all of that in the show notes. So
Great.
if anyone is interested in learning about oil painting or continuing to study with Janet, or you have a wedding coming up and this sounds like a really cool thing as a gift, um, maybe to yourself
But
or to
mhm,
others.
mhm. Yeah, a lot of people
Con-
buy it for their kids, like a lot of parents,
yes,
it's a
yes,
gift for the kids.
for sure, for sure. That's an amazing gift. Yeah, reach out to Janet, or you can reach her. You know, I don't have your email, but through your website, people can reach you. If you
Yeah,
have
all
any
my
comments or questions, I'm sure Janet would be happy to answer them. Or you can contact me at my website as well if you have any comments. But I want to thank you, Janet, so much. This has been, I think you're the first. I might be wrong, but I think you are the first painter that I've had on the podcast.
oh,
And yeah, and it's been something that I've, always admired, that people had that ability, and they've taken the time to put into that study and found their vision. But I loved learning about a little bit more about painting, especially live event painting. So thank you so much.
oh, my pleasure. I enjoy your questions and our time together as always.
All right. So reach out to Janet, and thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, Fran.
You're welcome. Take care, Janet.
You too. Bye.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to another episode. And I want to thank my guest, Janet Howard-Fatta, for sharing her beautiful artistic journey with us and how she developed her creative voice and loves what she does. If you think you'd be interested in speaking with her about a live event and for her to create a beautiful picture, painting to just capture the moment, give her a call, or you can contact her rather on Instagram, Facebook, or her website. Everything is in the show notes, and you can certainly speak with her, and she'd be happy to talk with you. She is truly a master in what she does. Also, if you'd like to download our free Calm Your Anxiety Instantly toolkit, you can also go to the show notes and you can download that directly through my website or through the link that I have in the show notes. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Share this episode with someone that you think might benefit and enjoy it, and we'll see you next time.